Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Mike Reed here, and today I have another Beyblade review for you guys. If you haven't read the title already, we've got quite the interesting one to show you guys today. As this Beyblade that was released March 20th of last year. Yeah, I know, very late to this review in terms of relevancy, but anyway, this Beyblade's kind of an interesting one because this one was the last Sparking Beyblade / Beyblade Burst Surge Speedstorm Beyblade to be released. And, oh my goodness, this one is pretty cool in terms of the parts that you get. But that's quite enough hyping this Beyblade up. Let's actually show you guys the box of this thing. So this, guys, is the Beyblade Burst Sparking single release, booster release, Death Solomon. Yes. So Death Solomon, this is it. This is the last ever Sparking Beyblade they released. And this one's kind of an interesting one. So, of course, as usual, it has the standard sort of box art to it. It has the big old Super King logo here. And, of course, it's B179. Thanks a lot, Amazon, for breaking the box there. Takara Tomy. We got the Sparking logo there. And B1789, of course, in Japanese kanji, we have Death Solomon and MF2B. We'll talk about what those parts mean, those words mean in a moment. But spinning the box around to the side, let me just get the camera angled properly. There we go. You can see a nice CG render of Death Solomon's chip, and we can actually see the Beyblade doing its little attack sort of functionality there, which is great. Spinning around to the back of the box, we get all of your legal jargon here. Death Solomon, MF2B. You got your, you got a nice little image of Death Solomon showing off the parts and it destroying / Valkyrie in the background. I don't know why they're showing off a GT Beyblade here, but all right. And then, of course, you have your QR code here, or some sort of QR code. Here you got some stats. You got the Beyblade bursting Valkyrie once again. I think that's actually, is that? Yeah, / Valkyrie again. Okay. Then you got the actual Beyblade itself. Two parts. One combined piece. Yeah. You know how the sparking system works by now, guys. So, of course, you have right here, you have the labeled parts. You have the Solomon chip, which, by the way, we're going to talk about this one in a moment, as the Solomon chip is one of several parts in this set that are just, well, actually, the whole set here in general is just very, very interesting in terms of the pieces. You get the Death Ring. Of course, you get the 2-balance double chassis. And you get the Metal Fusion driver. We'll talk more on the Metal Fusion driver when we get done with the box here. So there's one more side we gotta look at. And quickly, we will look at this side. So this side, of course, we have the balance type logo, burst system, right spin, and of course, it's part of the sparking layer system. So now, moving the box out of the shot, just in the camera. We will now take a look at this Beyblade, part by part, as we always do around here, starting with the chip, which I'm popping out of the combination right now. Here it is. This is the Solomon chip. Now, Solomon was not easy to get, as this Beyblade was released as part of a rare layers, a limited edition layer known as Death Solomon, and that's where this piece first showed up. But thankfully, Takara was nice and provided us with a easy version, easy way to get this piece. So obviously, Solomon is based off of the legendary Magic King Solomon. And according to the box, if you translate it, it says, a right spin Super King chip that stabilizes the center of gravity by arranging the metal in the center. Yes, if you couldn't tell by now, the shiny bits that you see on this chip are die-cast metal, which is great. And apparently on Solomon, one side of this of the metal is thicker than the other side. In this case, the red side is thicker than the purple side is. So depending on how you arrange each side, it will change the performance of the combination, which is very, very interesting. So definitely do like this part. Of course, you do have this little clear chip in here, but of course it doesn't do anything. It just kind of hangs out in there. But yeah, Solomon, really, really nice chip. Kind of reminds me of Hyperion's color scheme, which I could definitely get behind. So next up, of course, we have the ring, which is the only Takara Tomy version I have of this part, the Death Ring. Now, the Death Ring obviously is not new. This was first released with Death Diabolos, but it comes back here, and it looks really, really nice. I love the sort of orange mixed with the silver and the yellow. Yellowish, not even yellow, it's gold. And again, this once again reminds me so much of Super Hyperion's color scheme. So really do like that. And I also like how even the little bits here, these are actually where the screws are that hold a layer together. They actually have these little stickers in there, red on one side, purple on the other, which I think looks pretty cool. And it's just overall very nice design. And according to the back of the box, when you translate it, it says a right spin balance type ring that uses its large upper blade to stop the opponent, while reducing the physical strength of the opponent with its lower blade's repeated hits. So yeah, as you guys can see, big blade right here, and then of course you have the small little trailing blades behind it, sort of design. So once you actually put the Beyblade together, and of course gotta make sure I put it together properly. Yep, there we go. There you will have your top part of your layer for Death Solomon. Now, something I will let you guys know here is that Death Solomon's lock back here to actually remove the chip is very, very loose. No idea why it's this loose. Now, it doesn't cause any major issues when you're actually using it in battle, from what I've tested, but off camera before I actually, off camera. But yeah, very, very loose chip lock here. No idea why it's so loose, but it is. So putting that off to the side here. We'll now get on to the chassis, which is the 2-balance chassis. And as you guys can see, it is quite the beefcake. 2B also is not new. This first came with World Spriggan, so this is not new. But I do love this reissue, though. Unfortunately, I do not have the rare version of this chassis, as there were 2 different versions of this chassis you could get with Death Solomon. So you could get the silver one, like I have, or if you're lucky, you could get a gold version, where all of the silver bits are painted gold. And that was the one I was hoping I would get with this particular version, with this particular copy that I received from Amazon, of course, as I mentioned before. But nope, sadly, it's just the silver one, but it's alright. It's still a very nice chassis, and I'm glad and I'm happy to own it anyway. So the main gimmick with 2B is that it has 2 different modes. So right now, it is in its free spin mode. So as you can see, this outer ring spins around to help it deflect attacks and prevent the combination that it's using this chassis from bursting. So, very, very nice. Kind of similar to how Jet Wyvern's Jet layer, Jet Ring, deflects attacks. Very, very similar idea. And then, of course, you have these buttons on the side here. Now, if the combination has these buttons pushed down, I'll push these down for you guys, it's going to lock this ring in place. So, as you can see, I'm trying to move it. It doesn't move. So there you go. And of course, you can arrange it into various different configurations. You could have it like this. You could have it like that, maybe. You could have it like that, have it like this. However you want to put it, whatever kind of configuration you want to put it in, you can do that. So that is very cool that it can do that. So there is the 2B double chassis for you. And like I said, very, very large chassis for this. So just to kind of demonstrate how the chassis will go on is you just put the layer on top and then you just push down. And now it is locked in place because the buttons are pushed down. So therefore this piece is not going to move no matter how much you budget. So there you have your completed layer of Death Solomon. Very, very beefy. Lastly, we have the driver, which is a brand new driver for this release. This is Metal Fusion. So you might notice, and know that they didn't just call it Metal Fusion because that was what the first season of the Metal Fight Saga was called. No. It's just coincidence that they happen to be called the same name. But anyway, so you may notice that it looks pretty similar to the Fusion driver that we saw way back on the original Spriggan Spread Fusion way back in 2015. But no, this isn't the same Fusion. This Fusion is not only this really nice orange, but also it has almost like a Fanta orange, but it also has this metal cap that you guys see. Now, there is no gold spring in here, I don't think. Actually, yes, there is. Is that gold or is it silver? Hard to see here. But I think that might be a gold spring. I'm not sure. But, no, it's not. It's actually just a silver one. It just looks gold because of the plastic reflecting off of the metal there. But, yeah, so Metal Fusion, the whole gimmick is that now the driver has a metal cap on it. And not only that, but unfortunately, with the metal drivers, at least the early copies that were released, there was some definite breakage issues, as obviously these metal caps are going to wear on the teeth of your combinations much faster than, say, a plastic red one, like you would get with a dash driver, or a regular white one that you would get with a just a standard release of a driver. But thankfully, I've seen and heard that recent metal drivers, because this is one of the first, right, to do it, and hopefully maybe this one might be a modified version, who knows, but I've heard that with later copies of the metal drivers that have come out, they've actually modified them so that way they don't break combinations anymore, and there's no more worries or concerns about the teeth wearing down faster on more recent ones. I don't know if this one has it, but just be warned, if you're going to go out and get this Beyblade, just be warned that the metal drivers, particularly this one and possibly other ones, could possibly damage your Beyblade. So just be careful about that. But once you lock the driver into place, there you will have your full combination of Death Solomon. Quite the interesting design here, as on the top it's very, very beefy, but then at the bottom it's so skinny and tiny. So kind of interesting, but still very, very nice looking Beyblade regardless. And it's just and this Beyblade all in all just gives you really easy ways to get some pretty top tier components for the sparking generation. Solomon obviously is very good and competitive because, you know, the metal and everything, and the teeth make it very, very good for competitive. Obviously, Death is also great for competitive. 2B, great chassis to have. Easy way to get 2B if you didn't get World Spriggan when it came out. Obviously me. I haven't gotten that yet because, I mean, have you seen the prices online? Jesus. And of course, Metal Fusion. Hey, easy way to get your first ever metal driver. So, there you go. So Death Solomon, not bad at all. Now, for some quick comparisons, let's bring in, kind of zoom the camera a bit. Can I zoom the camera? Yep, there we go. For comparison, let's bring in a Jet Wyvern. So that way you guys can see. Very, very nice looking Beyblades here. Obviously, you can definitely see similar ideas shared between the two Beyblades in terms of the free spinning gimmick, but unfortunately, Wyvern's only locks when a left spin Beyblade hits it. That's when the teeth inside of the free spinning ring lock up. But still, really, really cool designs between these two. An interesting sort of dichotomy between the two of them as well. For our next comparison, let's bring in my Hasbro version of Death Diabolos, aka Demise Devilos. So here you have that. So you can see how those two compare. And obviously, the Takara and Hasbro versions of Death vary fairly significantly in terms of how they were designed and how they actually function. But still, very, very nice ring regardless, because, I mean, come on, how cool does that look? But anyway, moving this guy back into frame a little bit, because he was a bit off frame. Let's get, you know what, let's bring in Demise Diabolos, or Demise Devilos, not Demise, Abyss Devilos, also known as Abyss Diabolos. Sorry, getting confused here. Very nice designs going on between these two. Again, I would love to have the original Takara versions of both sparking upgrades for Diabolos, but what are you going to do? So, moving that off to the side. Next, we are going to do some other comparisons here. In this case, we're going to bring in some Limit Break Beyblades. In this case, unfortunately, the Hasbro versions, at least for now. So, first up here, we have Evo Hyperion Flamebringer, also known as Hyperion Burn, for the Japanese release. Pretty solid color scheme. You can definitely see the Hyperion inspirations for the color scheme of Death Solomon here. Almost called him Diabolos. But yeah, really, really nice color scheme going on between those two. Next up, we have Evo Lucius Endbringer, which of course for the Japanese release is Lucifer the End. So there you have those two. Very, very nice color schemes going on between those two. Also, can we just talk about how thick Lucifer is at the top, but then he just gets so lanky towards the bottom? Jeez. So, gotta turn the turntable a little bit back. Wait. There we go. Close enough. Alright, move that guy out of the way. Next, we will bring in, of course, for the last two comparisons, we'll just bring in my original sparking releases for Takara Tomy, those being Super Hyperion. So there you have those two there. Looking pretty solid. Again, you can definitely see the color inspirations between the two designs. So, very nice. And then lastly, we will bring in my Takara Tomy version of King Helios. As a matter of fact, hold on, let me change his mode real quick. Hold on. Let me change his configuration. Right. Okay. And turn that. Turn that. Okay, got it. So there we have him. There we go, in sort of his regular mode. There we go. So there you have him. Looking very, very nice, as you would expect. All in all, pretty solid designs going on between these two Beyblades. Very, very solid indeed. So, stopping the turntable there. There you have it. So that was my review on the Beyblade Burst Sparking B179 Death Solomon. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and ring that notification bell so you guys get notified for all my uploads. And also let me know in the comments what you guys want to see next in terms of toy reviews. Do you guys want to see some Dynamite Battle reviews? Because I definitely have some ideas what I can do for that, as I have had my eyes set on some of the early quad drive stuff that's come out for Hasbro. That, and I have been desperately looking for sales on Dynamite Battle stuff, because I'm super behind on that. So do let me know if you guys want to see that, because more than likely I'm going to post videos on those very, very soon. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. Later, Reed Squad, and have a good one.